Hello and welcome to our Entrepreneurial Opportunity Project. Myself and Kieran will be talking you through our business idea and will provide you with our findings and ideas we have for our business. I will go through our introduction and SWOT analysis, and afterwards I will pass you over to Kieran, who will discuss our personal analysis and our business opportunity, including our next steps and recommendations. But before all of that, enjoy our video.
How often does this happen to you in the mornings before you go to your work? I'm getting petrol! I'm getting petrol! Getting to the petrol station and being stuck in long queues can be very time consuming and make you more aggravated. You're also required to pump your petrol yourself, whereas with our business, you wouldn't have to. Having to go into the kiosk and possibly wait in another line just to pay for your petrol can be just as time consuming as waiting to fill it up. With our business, you won't have to.
The oil and gas industry is one of the largest sectors in the world in terms of dollar value, generating an estimated $5 trillion in global revenue as of 2022. Oil, and such, is crucial to the global economic framework as it impacts everything from transportation to heating and electricity to industrial production and manufacturing. Investors looking at entering the industry are often blown away by the complexity and unique metrics used throughout the sector. The industry is expected to have a solid start in 2024, due in part to its strong financial position and high oil prices, barring further deterioration in the macroeconomic environment. Key trends in the industry are that advancing the energy transition for oil and gas companies could hinge on meeting internal rate of return thresholds, while policy alignment and implementation at the national and regional levels remains crucial to attracting capital and reducing investment risks. Moving on to our analysis, I'm going to go through the SWOT analysis we've done, and then afterwards Kieran will talk you through Pesto. Now, the strengths in our business idea is that millions of Brits have made permanent switch to ordering groceries since in the pandemic in 2022. Now, that in turn could implement that people will be more inclined to order fuel as well as groceries, seeing as we've become lazier. A total of 40 million adults say that they use fast food or takeaway deliveries at least once a month. It was found that parents who are all ordering this fast food have younger children at home, which that could also come into play, as these people don't, if they're desperate for petrol, they're not going to want to have to get their infant children ready to get in the car just to go down and get petrol. It's a lot easier for them just to stay in the house and order it and let the petrol come to them. We've also noticed that there's a gap in the market for this service, as the only place in the world to have seen such a service was in Dubai with the company Cafu. And we have also have the opportunity to add in additional services such as offering a home car wash or tyre replacement. Now, some of the weaknesses to our business idea is that at the end of January 2024, there are roughly 1 million fully electric cars on the UK roads. There were nearly 315,000 battery electric vehicles registered in the UK in 2023. This being an increase of 18% on the number registered in 2022. However, 7.4% of new cars being registered are plug-in hybrids, which means there will still be a need for our services for the meantime. The government have also introduced a ban on the sale of new petrol and diesel cars, vans, by 2035, which provides less time for our company to survive unless we adapt our business to provide portable chargers for electric vehicles and continue to offer other services, as I said previously, with tyre replacement and home car washes. However, the opportunities for us in our business are endless. It's a good way to offer a new and exciting service to the UK, as the only other company in the world who offers a service is Cafu of Dubai, as I stated previously, with the exception of a few emergency breakdown companies. However, Shell have a tap-up fuel delivery service, but it is only for delivering to businesses with fleets. But with our service, it will be available to the public for everyone to use. We believe that there is a massive gap in the market that could be exploited and offer a new, unheard of service for millions of people. After we have a successful start to the business, there will be the chance to expand our operations abroad and venture into Central Europe, and potentially reach out to across the pond and set up operations in North America. As a new company trying to set up a business in the petrol and oil industry, it will be increasingly difficult due to the government's original plan to ban all petrol and diesel cars. It was originally set for 2030, but it's been pushed back to 2035 amid Rishi Sunak wanting to bring the deadline to the same time as the EU. This ban means that only electric vehicles will be available as new from 2035 onwards. But when that happens, we as a business will continue to provide other services as mentioned previously, by providing portable electric vehicle chargers for customers who have either broken down or are too far away from any charging ports and don't have enough charge to reach there. Another potential issue would be that transporting large amounts of petrol has its risks, and it is very flammable, which means if anything were to happen, this could potentially cause an explosion and potentially hurt many people. There are also many health hazards, as exposure to fuel vapours can have adverse health effects.
We'll start with political. Now, one of the main political issues that we are currently facing regarding our business is the fact that the UK have banned to plan the sale of new petrol and diesel vehicles by 2035. Whether this will actually happen or not, only time will tell. But if it does happen, this won't be a huge issue for us, as used vehicles will continue to thrive on the roads. We could also face issues with sourcing petrol due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, as the price of Brent crude oil has increased by $41.40 since the war began. Corporation tax also has to be taken into consideration, as it can be increased, sometimes decreased as well, but the main point is the fact that businesses are charged that rate of 25% for any profits which are over £250,000. The next letter that we have in Pesto is E, which stands for economical. Now, due to the current cost of living crisis, many people may not have the disposable income to use on a luxury service such as ours. Another thing which could harm our business would be inflation, because during January 2024 it was at 4%, which is significantly above the target of the Bank of England. Something which is also worth considering is the fact that the cost of all fuels is on a steady rise. The next letter in Pesto is S, which stands for social. So, who would our main target demographics be? Obviously road users, but mainly younger ones who are more likely to use an app like ours. We would also only really target people with petrol vehicles to begin with, to keep things cheap and simple for us. Eventually we would branch out and look at incorporating a diesel delivery service, and also something to do with electric cars to be sustainable. What cultural barriers might we face? So people have been used to filling up from the pumps their whole life, so a service like ours may be very strange and alien to them. So we'll need to spend a lot of money on advertising and normalising our service in the UK. Lifestyle should also be taken into consideration, as people who live in more affluent areas are far more likely to spend money on a luxury service such as ours. The next letter in Pesto is T, which stands for technological. Since our business would heavily rely on an app, we would need to make sure that our cybersecurity levels are incredibly high, as lots of customer data will be at risk. How innovative is our idea? In the UK, it will be highly innovative, as it has never been done before, so we believe that we should capitalise on the gap in the market. We also believe that our business should be very sustainable, as it's online and everything these days is moving online. The next letter in Pesto is L, which stands for legal. Now, health and safety will have to be one of our main concerns, as petrol is an incredibly dangerous and highly flammable material when it's in the wrong hands. So we'll have to take many measures to make sure that everyone's kept safe and no disasters happen, because we don't want any claims on our hands. Now, employment laws will also have to be very carefully looked at, and we'll have to make sure that everyone who works for us has the right to work in the UK. So we'll have to do extensive background checks and make sure that the van drivers have the necessary documents and licenses to carry petrol and drive the vans. Similar to many car insurance companies, we'll also add black boxes to the vans to make sure that the drivers are obeying the speed limits and not breaking any laws whilst out on the roads. The final letter in PESTLE is E, which stands for environmental. So climate change may affect our business, as some people nowadays want to get rid of petrol completely. However, we could combat this by offering to deliver sustainable fuels like biofuels. In addition to this, we could look into dealing with electric vehicles, which keeps our business sustainable. Every day, motorists wake up to cars with empty petrol tanks because they couldn't be bothered going and getting it the night before. It's a huge inconvenience, and considering the motor car is supposed to make our lives a lot more convenient, it's just a complete hassle. With our new service, the hassle of going to the petrol station will be no more, and customers will be able to relax in the mornings and not have to make time and go out of their way to fill up their car at the pumps. Customers will first download our app on their smartphone or other device. They will then book a time slot, enter the registration of their vehicle, and we will come to their door and fuel up their car. The only other thing that customers will need to do is leave their fuel cap unlocked. Most cars allow you to unlock the fuel cap whilst keeping the vehicle cabin locked. Fuel siphoning should also not be an issue, as cars now have anti-siphoning systems, so fuel theft will not be an issue for us. Payment is dealt with straight away. As soon as the customer books a delivery, the card is charged instantly. We won't accept cash to keep things simple, and this should not be an issue, as most petrol stations now do not accept cash, and some don't even have a kiosk. The idea is simple, but we believe that it should be effective. We have effectively used our environmental scanning tools throughout the process. We use SWOT analysis to identify things such as the fact that there is a gap in the UK market, that there is a rise in electric vehicles, that there is an opportunity to introduce a new service, and also the chance to partner with other companies. We also use PESTLE, which helped us point out things such as our target demographics, and also other things such as the cost of the UK living crisis, which could have an impact on our idea. So, what would our next steps be? First, we would have to source vans, we would have to get insurance for the vans, we would also have to find drivers and pay their salary. We would also need to find a company to develop our app. We would then need to pay for fuel, which would be the main bulk of our cost. In order to make a tidy profit, we would sell our fuel at 10 pence higher than we would at the pumps. We've also calculated that on average, we would need to sell fuel to 33 cars a day per van in order to make that profit there. To conclude, we believe that our business idea would be successful given the tools required to make it happen. As it's a very new idea in the UK, which has never been done, and we think that it would be a fantastic idea to capitalise on the gap in the markets.